too much fun. All right. Yeah, I kind of sort of figured the moment I saw, first off, the only echo in the game and your name here on YouTube along with the name of the character. Right. Okay. So let's have a look. Go forward. Okay, good. It's still on 7 seconds. Okay, so let's see what the composition is looking like. So they have a Widow, Hanzo. So they're doing double sniper. Winston is an interesting one. Is this a is this a competitive match? It just depends on the length of time you have. Also, whether or not they're going to actually really try hard. Also, what is your rank, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, so it is comp. What is your rank? Just so I know what to expect. Yeah, so going just checking back. Hey, Mercy Bap. It's actually not even the worst healing duo. I mean, Mercy's going to definitely be riding the Winston for sure. So, oh, okay, so silver. Okay, yeah, I can definitely help you out then. If you were anything higher than plat, I would be skeptical and be like, I'll give you a different perspective. But okay, yeah. So their team is pretty good. Now, hold on a minute. Let's examine yours too and take it all in at the same time. Mercy Moira, good healing duo. Diva will definitely have coverage on that. You and McCree. Doo-doo main. Okay, so you have a duo. Okay. So most likely one of them is a duo as well. Alright, let's, nope, wrong one. You went Widow for a second? Tracer? Okay. Let's get into the team fight. Everyone's just making it. Where's... I was about to say, it seemed like you were getting out on the point a little bit slow, so now I confirmed it. Before I even get on anything, maybe it's because it was the slow start that you guys probably took the top. But there's only one real reason why you would take the top, is if they're in the midst of pushing the payload and they bring it a little bit forward just before going underneath. I wouldn't say taking the top would have been a good idea. I would have just went straight for point. Making it to point and fighting on point is the most advantageous thing you can do. And I don't know if this is still true, if whether or not pros or some of the top tier players will say it. I'm not going to be able to hear your voice comms, by the way. I just realized what you typed. Fighting on point is the most important thing when you're starting this match. Yeah, me too. We're both guilty of that. I think we needed a break to kind of cleanse the palate. But what I was getting at is, for push maps, the most important team fight is the very first one, because whoever gets it has the highest chance of winning throughout the rest of the match. I'm, again, not 100% sure if that is still the case, if something might have changed with game balance, whatever the devs might have done, but typically, if you push the point first, your chances of winning are now higher than if you lost it. And I know that's kind of like saying, well, no, duh. But it's like exponential amounts of statistics there. I mean, the point opens up in 7 seconds, but I don't know if your team's just going to stay here. Okay, so you blink away. Yeah, they basically cover it. Hey, Leonardo. Just a quick hello real quick. Sorry that I'm late. I was sleeping because of the time. No. Don't apologize for that. I just wanted to let you know that your VOD review is done. I'll be uploading it later tonight. I'm actually doing another one right now. Played a couple of matches. Got some warm-up. So let's have a look. So, let me go back a step. So you go down here. So There's a couple of problems here. So you started off at this major choke point. Who is your opposition from this vantage point? Speaking to Riot, by the way. You have a Winston with a bubble, and he's got a sort of a ranged attack, but it's not as threatening, but at the same time, you're Tracer. Okay, so here's the thing. Before I even talk about anything else, look at who you're playing, and tell me right now, knowing who the enemy team is in hindsight, of course, who are your biggest pieces of opposition? Just go ahead and name whoever you think. You don't have to get it all right. I'm just trying to make you think, is the point. Who's your biggest opposition? Okay, Hanzo. Anybody else? Just name who you think. Put it all in one chat message. Excluding Hanzo, of course. Yep, Baptiste is another one. I was really hoping you would mention them, too. I'll let you have one more guess. Who would you say on the enemy team? Who would you say is your biggest opposition on the enemy team? All right. So, theoretically, there were 4 in total, counting Winston. Why Winston? Because Winston, his ability to dive and to consistently force out your cooldowns and exert pressure. Your mobility can sometimes mean nothing. It just depends on who his dive target is and where your positioning is. Myriads of different things. So we can exclude him if we want, but the primary 3, aside from him, are the ones you mentioned. So you're good. Widow, Hanzo, and Bap. Now, I was really hoping you would say Bap too, because Bap is kind of like a sleeper one, like, oh, how is Bap your counter? His 3-round burst is actually very high damage potential, and they actually had a conversation earlier on a video where someone, like, made a video about how Soldier and Bap, like, oh, Soldier beats Bap all the day long, and it's like, no, I don't know what rank you think you're playing, but that's never the case. Bap has great damage potential and can even outduel a Soldier 9 times out of 10, and this is coming from a Soldier main. 9 times out of 10, Bap will win that fight if you are at least both average. Assuming that you're both playing your hero to a really good potential, as long as both of you are fighting on a one-on-one situation, more times than not, Soldier is going to lose. I'm sorry, but it's true. So, you're Tracer, and here's where you're positioned. I'm just pointing out. You're right here. So you have a Winston bubble to your left with a Hanzo practically in the best position and cover that he's got. And he's protected by 2 barriers as amounts to 1 because of the dome. Then on to your right, you have a pocketed Widow. The Bap is farther off, so I wouldn't worry about him. So at the minute, you have 2 options. Your first option, because you're stuck here, is to do what you just did, which was go right and take the frontal dive, which is where you're at right now. Or you can veer left. And left, you have 2 options. You can do the full frontal dive that you're doing right there over on the left side. Or the third option, which is the option that I would have done, would be to take this right here. And again, this is with the advantage of hindsight, so I'm not saying, like, I probably in the moment would have done something similar and try to take, like, maybe a higher angle over here. But then you have to remember who is your opposition. So you can be mobile. Heck, you might have even been able to take this cover right over here if you decided to use all your blinks. As long as you remained in cover. Yep, exactly. So you have the little doorway right here, and that would have been absolute cover. So I'm going to tell you one thing, and this is going to be the biggest takeaway of all this. Cover is your friend for 2 reasons. 1, 2 out of the 5 enemy heroes have one-shot capability without any, like, there's no doubt. If you're caught in the open in a bad position and they get one shot, Widow and Hanzo, you're done. And you're Tracer. You have a low health pool. Number 2, cover will never break. The wall will never break, and if you hug that wall, peek out like an inch. I believe Spylo covered this in one of his videos, talking about how cover is important. Like, when you're in cover, you're right here. You peek out, you're this far. Guess what? Hanzo hits you and doesn't get a critical. Oh, I can dodge back in, and you're right there. Whereas you're right here, he hits you. Now you have to cover this distance down up into the cover. So you're playing Tracer right now like you're playing like a tank as a frontline Tracer. Actually, Leonardo had one that I reviewed his. Very similar in the aggression style point that you're taking the front fight. But look at who you're facing. You're facing a Widow. And not only a Widow, a pocketed Widow. Which means that if you deal damage, you're just going to whittle her down just for her to get right back up, because guess who's on her? With the staff shoved up her butt. 7 inches. And while you're busy tickling Widowmaker, she's just going to get her shot, and she doesn't really have to go into cover unless 5 people. Your only saving grace here is the fact that D.Va's got the defense matrix on you and is not paying attention to the Moira 1v2ing a Winston and a Hanzo. But yeah, D.Va's saving your life, essentially. D.Va is essentially saving your life and keeping you from getting one-pieced. Difference between... No. Both of you are using the same aggression in the previous VOD review. You're playing a frontline Tracer. You're playing very aggressively and very openly. When you could be playing more advantageous positioning like flanking. And in his instance, in this VOD specifically, he's 1v1ing, or 1v2ing in this instance, 1v2ing a Widowmaker with a Mercy pocket. And the thing is, I don't even know if the Mercy's going to be damage boosting in a second. We can actually play this and just let it run and see what happens. But both of you are playing frontline Tracers, and although you can do that, it's discouraged for 2 reasons. You're relying on the fact that your enemy team might not be able to kill you, and you're banking on heavy luck to utilize your insane mechanical skill to keep you alive. And you only have a certain number of blinks. It looks like, and on top of that, he has 1 blink, about to get 2, and he still hasn't used his rewind, and he's about to reload. Yep, there's the pocket I was worried about. Dang. All right. Yep, that's what I was worried about. Now, you had good target prioritization. You probably could have paid a little bit more attention to your surroundings. But I can't say that that's entirely wrong either. That's kind of like an iffy one. Like, you were doing the right thing by trying to take out the Baptiste. It's just unlucky that Hanzo was in the position that he was in, and I think Winston's paying attention to you too. Let's go back a little bit. Yeah, you lost your tank. Winston... Yeah, that was just unlucky, truth be told. There was no winning that, unfortunately. You did the right thing with target prioritization, though. You were targeting the healer. You might have run out of resources. I actually didn't pay attention. No blinks. Yeah, there's nothing you could do there. You just got one-pieced. There was no rewind capability. There was no extra... Honestly, you could have stood to probably blink into either going into cover, or you could have just blinked back and kept your aim on him. Here's the thing. Tracer has low range, yes. But she has range. Not the longest, but she does. You could theoretically have actually been right here and had just as much value as where you were right here. Weirdly enough, 1 blink back, and he would have had to shift his aim to get the luck shot. So, again, there was just really nothing that could be done. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, hey, there's a right answer and you should have done this. Like, no, this was just how it happened is how it happened. It was bound to happen, too. Wait, did McCree carry that? Wait, did McCree carry that? Okay. Well, I'm not here to review him. I'm here to review you, my friend. Itch. Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. There we are. Okay. So before I go into what you do, let's talk about kind of the same thing I'm talking with Leonardo about. What do you do between team fights? Right now, Genji, you probably wouldn't know this if you were in the middle of the game, but if you look in hindsight, Genji's diving in by himself. So it's safe to say that if he's here and you don't see anyone else, he's just solo diving. You could probably let him be stupid. What should you be doing? The short answer, I'm not going to let you have to do all the guesswork so we can make this longer. What you should be doing is preparing, and this is the same thing I told Leonardo, preparing for the upcoming team fight, the inevitable team fight. So you put yourself into the position you need to be. So for Soldier 76 is the one that I've been covering a lot. That would be putting yourself maybe on the high ground over here, blocking off their advantageous taking of the high ground over here by just being a presence. Looking down for anybody coming through that doorway. For Widowmaker, same difference, but you might be able to position yourself behind this wall or put yourself in a position where you can link back to your team. For McCree, pretty much on point, sticking with... Where's your tank? Oh, you're without your tank. I mean, Genji's still 1v4ing, technically. You're not in a bad position anyway, because the team fight hasn't started yet. But if I was to make a suggestion, I would say that out of the different options that you had, you probably could have been... What's the word I'm looking for? You could have been extra, used your blinks to take this position right here, go inside the doorway, and wait at this entranceway for the inevitable team fight to happen behind, because that's where they'll be. And if you get into a pickle, you can go back, retreat, there's your health pack, and then you're back here. That's number one. Number two, taking this up air angle, there's a couple of paths that you could branch on. And you could have taken here. This is a little way out of your way and extra. I don't think I would have considered this one, truth be told. It is an option to bring you behind the enemy team, but it's way too far out of the way. But also the point is not anywhere near it. So I wouldn't even have suggested it, to be honest. But it's something. Alternatively, you could have come over here, dropped on down, and waited underneath. Again, for the inevitable team fight. And then lastly, you could have waited right here and wait for the team fight and look for an opening in a wide open view space. Because unlike those last few that I mentioned that you're in a hallway and with a health pack, this gives you an overview and gives you the most amount of information because you're able to see the widest range of area of the team fight to come. So here you are. Let's see what happens. Oh! I'm going to assume you might die here. Yep. Yeah, I figured that was probably the fate of what you were going to go through. So let's view this from third person. So you do go the one direction that I suggested, which was good. You took the fight, and Genji is now just getting pocketed, so you should have actually had the win. Dang. Good on you, Goose. And then Doo-Doo Main over here taking the primary fight. He probably could have utilized cover a little bit better, but I'm not coaching him. Mercy with the res. I think she succeeds because she's at full health. So you committed and you did the right thing, but I don't even know if choked would be the right word, is you didn't follow through, for lack of better terminology, because you have an advantageous position. You're giving them a choice. Are they going to focus the pressure coming from this direction, or are they going to focus the pressure coming from behind them? Now, chances are either way you might have died, it wouldn't have mattered, but if you took away their attention from the point for even 3 seconds, that's 3 seconds that your tank has to get back onto point. I don't know why he's taking the top there, my god. And then your Mercy would have had time to res your friend, and the Moira would have been able to throw in an orb. It just would have been mayhem for them to divide between the two. But, we're going to slow this down half speed. You blinked right back. You went right back into the midst of them and basically said, hey, I'm sorry that I divided your attention. Now just look one direction. It's fine. So, I mean, I also understand he used his lamp, but understand now that he doesn't have that resource for when the mid-fight happens. It does look like Hanzo did get your Mercy, though. So, unfortunate. If you divided their attention, it might have done something. But if he was hard focused on that, there's not probably much you could do. Okay. Also, good target prioritization yet again, going for the Baptiste since he's in your view of sight instead of looking for the damage. Again, you're kind of front-lined, and remember, they swapped off the Widowmaker. So you now have technically one less hero that can burst you down, but Genji is still a high damage hero. So you have one less hero to worry about. Is this the point where... Oh no, you have your pulse bomb. So I'm assuming you're going to try and use it. Whoa. Good kill on the Genji. So let's start with the obvious. Good kill on the Genji. No problems there. You pursued a single kill. That was good. It's okay. It's better that you have it for the next team fight anyway. So you also have your blinks, and you have your rewind. So now we're going to slow this down and view this from third person for just a second. So now, getting the Baptiste. Good thing that you and your... I wouldn't worry about that too much. So you and your Ramatra are now pressing forward on the Orisa. Good, so you're dealing pressure and you're not being focused. But Hanzo is shooting your direction. You are very fortunate that he didn't get the kill that he did, but now you're being semi-focused. I am surprised that Mercy died as quickly as she did. Yeah, your Ramatra is doing a very good job of creating a very intimidating presence. Excuse me. Bad. Really bad. Yeah, he was gunning for you. Even... You're really lucky that he didn't get you there. Honestly, he could have one-tapped you at literally any point. Yeah, by the way, if you're wondering why the orb's there, the replay code is stupid. Okay. So, I'll also mention one other thing. You're obviously having trouble keeping blinks. You're not utilizing your rewind a lot. That's fine. I would just practice using your resources a little bit better. Like, don't always use all your blinks. Like, if you're coming back from spawn, that's one thing to use all three to get out the door if there's a distance between you and the objective. Because chances are you're not going to get spawn camped all the time, so go ahead and use all your blinks, go to town. You have your rewind if you need to go back. But when you're in a team fight, using your blinks wisely is your best friend. And again, you're not using them badly all the time. Yeah, like right here, thankfully, you closed the gap. Good use of rewind. Good burst. That was good, because you made him use his resources. He had to dash. He couldn't get the kill. You rewind it, made it null and void. He had to deflect. You didn't shoot him during the deflect. There you have it. Also, I just realized you said you're really bad at using your pulse bomb. I'm going to make a recommendation. It's going to feel a little bit weird, and I am a purist, meaning that I usually like my controls the default, but then I realized it was just better for me to change it. Change your ultimate for Tracer, specifically, not for everybody, for Tracer. Switch your ultimate button from Y to the left trigger. Because if you go to Y, you stop your turning on your right stick, and then you have to look one direction to throw it. Whereas, if you put it on the left trigger, you still have maneuverability with your thumbsticks. So just give that a shot if you haven't already, and see if that helps improve your stickage percentage. So you got the Genji, but now you're making the same mistake again. You're running into the Hanzo face first. And again, you're very lucky to... Yep, I figured. Frontlining Tracers are always fun. But yeah, give that a shot, by all means. You did get him low. Yeesh. Ah. Yeah, this is the moment you run away. Ah! You juked him. I can't argue that. Ah, yeah. Ah! I mean, I'll be honest. Let's just take it from here for like 2 seconds. So, you're up there, they're chasing you, they ignore you, you blink back in, you go the opposite direction. You get speared, you go rewind, you get back over here. You did the right thing most part by getting out of dodge with that Genji. I think he's actually about to lose. He's like 1v3 right now. Even if he does manage to get one, I think he's just going to ultimately lose. You did the right thing by subverting the attention and getting away from that. And you were right to focus on the objective because it was being pushed. Cover would have been your best friend. And now the question is, if... I hate how it does that. So, my question to you, now that you have the gift of hindsight for reference, who should you have been targeting in this exchange? Because here's the thing. Either way, you're already face-to-face with Hanzo. So Hanzo's your threat no matter what. Who should you be going for? I'll let you answer that one before I continue. Yay! Bingo. That's a bingo. That's what the Americans say, right? Inglourious Bastards reference is an Inglourious Bastards reference. Anyway, so, yes, you're absolutely right. Mercia should be, indeed, your target. So, either way, you're face-to-face with Hanzo. And you're already taking the fight. But if you can eliminate his source of sustain, because watch what happens when I put it in slow-mo. Ready? You bring him down, and he's back up to mid. You bring him down, and he's back up to mid. And now he's almost up to full, and you're dead, and he's back at full. His health bar was literally... Now, imagine you got that Mercy. Yeah, she kind of went into cover. You might have still died, but you would have lowered his chances of survival if you had managed to get the kill. You also don't have your rewind, I don't think, at that point. 7... Nah. Yeah. No, I understand. But the best way to improve at that is to continuously try. Don't give up. Don't get stressed about it like, I couldn't hit the Mercy. Try next time. Honestly, the only way to improve is to still try. Because at the end of the day, you're going to master your mechanics, you're going to play, you're going to adapt, and the only way that growth happens is when you do the hard things. So, just keep that in mind. Do you go... You said you were playing Echo, and yet I've been seeing a lot of Tracer. Or is it Tracer gameplay? Wait, what did you say? I play Echo, binds problem securing kills, basic team knowledge and aim, and doesn't comp. Yeah, I'm looking back at what you just said real quick. Give me like 2 moments. So you just got new binds. And then problem is securing kills. Basic team knowledge and aim. If I had just read, I would have seen that you wrote silver. That's my mistake. Oh, it switches midway. Okay. So you mentioned it. Okay, so this one, I know it might not be what you meant by team knowledge. So right now, you're making an engagement. This is where team knowledge comes in. You're communicating with your friend. Where is your friend? He's dead? Yeah, he's dead. He wouldn't have been able to give you the info. Dang. I was going to say, if your friend was alive, he might be able to tell you that your team is pressing and you would have been able to make that engagement. So you're playing hyper-aggressive, too. So, talking about team knowledge, this would have been one of the things to communicate with your friend if he was still there, or communicate with your team. Just depends. And you would have asked, like, hey, are you guys forcing their attention? Now, all of them are facing that direction, so you did luck out. And they are short, by the look of it, 1? Where's the other? Where is he? Is Genji back at spawn? Oh, Genji went Reaper. Whoops. Looking for the wrong person anyway. So yeah, their attention is all focused on your team right now, and they have the window, so they're probably going to just look through that window anyway, knowing that they're silver. And here you are. You're charging in back. So you're doing the right thing. A little aggressive, and you probably could have timed it better, but you're doing good. So let's see. Let me rewind that just to make sure I didn't see something other. So now the question is, why did you rewind? Up until the point that he turned and shot you where he did, you didn't have pressure. Like, you went around, you shot the Mercy, and then you immediately rewind, which gives away your position and basically says to the Hanzo, not only is there a Tracer behind me, but she used a critical resource for what he might know is God only knows what reason. Now the team is on you. I wouldn't have used it. Quite frankly, what I would have probably have recommended you do is go here, try to go for the Mercy, and then get behind this cover, force them to pull back, or force them to go around in an angle, and then you have your escape over here up to a health pack, or you have your escape, where is it? Not here. You have your escape back here, You have your escape here, because now he needs to go through a wall. You could have even gone back up here or down here. Honestly, you could have just gone a number of places. But since you rewind and put yourself back here, there's just not much more for him to do. Okay, here's the point where you swapped.
I am always ready to learn.
Flames of liberation rise.
Okay, good use of your flight. Good stuff. Ah! Okay, I'll let this play out for a second.
Heroes never die.
You're playing very... I like it. It's a little chaotic, but...
Let's stop them.
Oh, okay. I don't need to review that then. If it was a misclick, that explains everything. Ooh! And your friend turned Sojourn, that's good. Bro! Okay, now we have a problem. So let me go back first. So I'm going to tell you something that I'm happy with. First was the fact you used your flight to get there. I don't know what your friend's doing right now. You're staying a distance. You shoot the lamp, which is good. The entire engagement is weird. It's not bad because you survived, for number one. Your team won the team fight. So, yes, it's good. But I'm going to go over it right now. So, your engagement, good. You forced out the key resource of lamp, which means now you can get those kills. Now, let's understand something. You went Echo. Hanzo does have trouble with flying heroes from time to time, but that does not make him any less dangerous. And your character, in unison with Sojourn, gives him a run for his money because you can get up close to him and get his off angles that he's not very good at getting. And his Reaper can't reach you in the air. So you've just eliminated some of their potential for a team fight. So you come forward, you go up, already good. You're taking the flight. Did you miss that? Just to make sure I'm seeing that right? Just want to make sure before I... Huh, I thought you hit... Or maybe it was just the hit markers, I don't know. Okay, so you fly back to point, that's good. You're now taking the duel with 1v5, and the Reaper came for you. Good dodge. Nothing wrong. Used those things. Good. Used your Orbeez. You backed up.
Heroes never die.
Backing up. Already good. Already good. You're using cover. You're still trying to, like, create some pressure with your primary fire. That's good. Used your flight to escape again when you were getting pressured.
Let's stop them.
Again, you kind of had a chance. I'm not going to rewind it, but you kind of had a chance to go for the Mercy at the very least and pressure her a little bit. Honestly, it doesn't look like you would have gotten the kill anyway, so I wouldn't worry about that. That's not something, by definition, wrong. Just, you could have, you didn't, but it's fine. Good, you pressured the Reaper back, and your friend got the kill. And your friend's getting pocketed, so that's good. And then Mercy's about to go down. Your Orbeez are on point. I'm calling them Orbeez, by the way. Your Orbeez are on point. I can't even And Kiriko does the cleanse. Kind of rendering anything that you did useless, and she's right there. Your friend is getting the elimination. She wastes an ult on nothing. Okay, so the team fight is won. Congratulations. You made it. And no, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm making a joke here. Congratulations, you won the team fight. It's kind of like one of those, it's kind of like that Captain America thing in Spider-Man. Congratulations, you got yourself detention. Well, congratulations, you won the team fight. So now the question is, what should you be doing? Not that. Not that. And do you want to know why you shouldn't be doing this? Why am I on this still, by the way? I forgot to remove it. That's my mistake. So why should you not be doing this? Because look at where the robot is, look at where you are, and look at where your team is. And guess who's going to meet with you first if you kept pushing it? The enemy team, who's probably going to make it over here by the time the machine hits there, and your team is still going to stagger in. Is that Reaper teleporting somewhere, by the way? Yep, he was. Okay. Tanks. What are you doing? A tank's job? Kinda. You are frontlining. There's no problem with frontlining when certain team fights arise. The problem is when you're doing it and wasting your resources foolishly. Now, even a tank shouldn't be pushing this thing while the team is all the way back here. Yeah, you're all Okay, I'm going to give you a big tip, and I know, it's going to be hard. You just do your best to stick together and deal with whatever situation you're dealing with in particular, but your entire team is struggling to catch up right here while you're pushing the point forward. It is essential that if you're going to take a fight, you have to take an advantageous fight. They are right now splintered because of everything that had just happened. Their Kiriko and their Orisa are still in the midst of respawning, which means that Orisa is going to take a bit to get there anyway. Kiriko can probably make it back to the team fight, but they're without a tank. So what harm is it to make them do the footwork to get over to you, splintering their team even further, since they're using their resources to move across the map faster anyway, where Orisa cannot do that? Basically mean that if you left the point right back here where it belonged, that they would have had to take a 4v5. And instead, you pushed it forward, and now you're creating a major disadvantage for your team because you're by yourself. Now, this is a live and learn situation. It's not a problem. Were you at... You were at full health. Right. Okay, good. So you got rezzed. Holy crap. So now you have a frontlining Mercy for some reason. I don't know why she covered there when she could have gone back here. I don't know how far they are into that res. Okay, so your friend is dead and the Hanzo's dead. Hanzo's in the midst of being rezzed because you were rezzed. So that means that this fight's going to be down if she succeeds. So does she succeed? Yes, she succeeds. Dang. Let's stick with you. Let's see what happens.
Enemy team has slain the robot.
Dang, your Orbeez are on point. Good. Slow to the draw. You should have used your ult. It wouldn't have mattered who. It just would have progressed the fight longer. Okay, so let's go back on this and view this from a third-person angle. You took a good angle. You did a very good job in taking the off angle for Hanzo. The moment that you got him, I would have pulled back. Mercy just used her res. All she can do is stick with her tank or with her other team. You kind of waltzed into a 1v3. And you're being pincered currently. And your Mercy doesn't have res either. Yeah, this was, unfortunately, a very scuffed team fight by the look of it. I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm going to skip forward. Is your team winning? I don't know how they turned it around, but I'm coaching you, not them, so... Good Orbeez. Good.
Capability adaptive circuits engaged. Allow me to prepare the damage.
Eek. I hate to say I don't know what I could even say about that. I'll be honest. So first, you get the elimination on Honda. That's good. I wouldn't have used the ult. Only for two reasons. Number one, it looks like the team fight is scrubbed. You eliminated one of theirs at the cost of losing three of yours, one tank, one damage, one support. I wouldn't have used it. And if you were going to copy anybody,
Moira.
your best chance was to probably copy the Reaper or the Orisa. So I assume that this was a panic. I'm going to assume this is a panic ult, which is why you probably did it. And either way, it happened. This is where we learn from the mistakes. So that's just a future suggestion, because Moira, you probably could have just copied her and used her escape mechanic to go back to your team and offer some heals, get a coalescence maybe. But, so it was panic, I figured. Yeah, I also noticed that you used the heal against the enemy. That's fine, though. That's fine. So here you are. You use your Orbeez. Unfortunately, you missed. I'll be honest. You just mentioned you panicked, so there's not really much for me to go on. That explains why you used your beam. I just wouldn't have used it. Like, that thing only does real work when they're below half health. So, yeah, I figured this was going to be a scrub team fight.
Analyzing for possible improvements.
Now they're making a mistake. You wouldn't have known it, but they're split. You did it. Reaper is forced to retreat. You get their Mercy. You get their Reaper. You get out of viewpoint and save yourself. They get the Hanzo. You're now with your team. They are pushing the point. I don't know why you guys are going the opposite direction. Good stuff. Good WOM team fight. Nothing to talk about there.
Cooling down.
Oh.
Thanks for the upgrade. I like it.
It's okay. You and your team did the same thing. Everybody was ignoring the point. That happens. So let's just go back a second, because I don't know what happens afterwards. Why does it keep saying reviving? This is kind of annoying me now. So your plan here. A pocketed Hanzo, kind of similar to what happened earlier. Just slow that down to half speed. So now you're running into the same problem that you had when you were playing Tracer. That you went for the Hanzo instead of the Mercy, and now you're going for the McCree as Echo with a pocket Mercy. You're doing nothing but giving her ult charge. Now, good job on getting out of the situation pretty quickly. It could have ended badly for you. Good pick on the Hanzo. And then good pick, inevitably. Well, I said good pick. There you go. Ah. Dang. I was gonna say, you probably could have used your spinny thing too, but I don't know if you had that binded. Ah.
2-minute warning. Creating new neural pathways.
Ah. Nothing you could do there. They're just saving their ults for the final push. That's normal. One thing. You pushed directly in. So you did the same thing you did with Tracer, which is pushing in and frontlining. You had the top of the bus. By simply walking this direction and standing here, you have full access to their back line. And even if you had to drop down and take this angle right here, they now have no cover, or effectively little cover. And even if they turn to focus you, fly back up and go back in. But you instead took the front line. And now you're up and they can't hit you as easily, but you didn't get any value. And you're, by the way, stuck by yourself. So you went out the doorway without your team. So this is going to come in the later ranks as you start to climb, but you're going to start realizing that playing with your team is probably better than playing with yourself. By yourself. Just going to clip that. Can I save a clip? Yeah, save replay. Anyway, it's better to play with your team and wait for them to respawn before you go in and face the enemy team alone. So, I'm more used to FPS games where you can clutch. Yeah, you can technically clutch by your... Anything is possible. Be understanding. Everything and anything is relevant. Let's be honest with each other. It's just now the question is, were you able to do it here? Short answer is no. It looks like you're about to lose in a second anyway. I don't think your guys are going to win. You'd have to win every team fight and push the cart almost double the distance you have it right now. So I think the match is about over in a minute, isn't it? Ooh, 4 minutes. Whoa. You might actually win this. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Okay, so yeah, now you go up. You're inevitably in a bad spot. Honestly, I would have taken the flight and gone in here. You would have had the high angle. They would have been forced to either look down there or look up and face you and let your your current team running down middle. They would have had to focus on one of the two, and Hanzo would have been forced to use an ult to keep it. Now again, they were holding ults by the look of it, so they have Hanzo ult that they use in 2 seconds. They were trying to push for the final team fight. That's fine. That's going to happen. Let it be.
This time I have
All hail the Queen!
Good assassination. Good kill.
functions at peak power.
Yeah. Hard to get Mercy. Okay. Okay, now you're with your team. You're doing the right thing.
Peace. 10 seconds remaining.
Good. Ah, why though? But you're back in the same spot.
Overtime. The final push is ours. Let's go.
Okay. So let's just quickly cover what you did.
The final push is ours.
You're pushing with your team. This is good. I would stay up here, wait for the next oncoming push, look that direction, look this direction, and heck, even hold that doorway. You don't know if they're coming out there, but you now have the high ground. Your literal goal is to watch these two main entry points, because if you see them here, that's where your attention's focused. If you see them here, you just shut down their space. You drop down, going back, by the way, you went back. You went in a loop to eventually take the same high ground that you originally had. And now she throws the orb and she retreats. But now you're back off that high ground and the enemy team is now kind of in an advantageous position. You're in overtime. All they need to do is distract you long enough and you could pretty much split your attention. You obviously go on for like another 2.5 minutes, so I'm surprised that you did it. Oh, there's the death. So you went out. How did that happen? It was the Hanzo. I figured. Rez! Rez! Cool. How did you do any of that? You're actually leaving me baffled here. You're leaving me... It's a good kind of baffled, but I don't know what you're doing. I'll be honest. It's just working. It's working. Okay. So, what do you do between team fights? You set up for the next one, the next inevitable one. You're on overtime. Your Junker Queen, your Moira, and your Mercy can stay on point. You and your... In fact, actually, it's kind of... No, you were here for that. I was asking you before. You were asking about me before in the composition, how Echo and... Echo and Sombra... it was the first composition I released. If you didn't see it, I made a composition similar to this out of random. It was Marissa as the tank, and it was Kiriko Zenyatta as the supports, but same difference here. You have the advantage to take advantageous positioning, and what your friend should be doing, you did. Okay, so we'll see it in a little bit, what you could do. I'll just make a guess. So what your Sombra should be doing, your friend, scouting. The moment that the enemy team makes the engagement, pincer, and you should position yourself on an off angle, take this high ground. Right now, this is free real estate. Taking this position, even if they come here, or if they come here, you're now ready for the next one. You could technically be up here. You're going to be pushing the point in like 2 seconds anyway through that area, so up there would have been good as well. Being up here. And they would have inevitably had to come and take the team fight around here anyway. And then, like I mentioned, your friend could have done the pincering. So let's see what you do.
It's our last chance. Don't leave the robot. Forward spawn activated.
Oh! Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? You sure about that? You said you did, but here you are in the middle of the road again. I'm kidding, by the way. Your Sombra with the clutch hack, did that pull her out of it?
Adaption circuits engaged. Orisa.
How? I was about to say, don't step on it, please. Okay. I was initially going to say something about you taking main. But as dumb as it looked, the entire scuffed team fight, I don't know how you did it, but you all survived and you won the team fight. If it's stupid, but it works, it's not stupid. So credit where credit is due. You actually did amazing on that duplicate. I cannot literally criticize a single thing about that. Even you going in the middle makes more sense than anything that I could say. Use the beam! Use the beam! Not the beam! Ah. Oh.
Capabilities maxed.
Good kill on the Mercy. So, they took your tank and Mercy, and you took their Mercy and basically all their supports. Ah! I hate Junkrat's ability to just kill people that quickly. He pretty much did what I think he did, didn't he? Oh, yeah, he did. No. I got it. Why is your team still... Oh, no, they have to stay on point. They have to stay on point. Does your friend get the kill at least? Good on your friend. Yeah, So once again, if it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid. So, taking the front line, you had your team with you, that's fine. And I would have used the beam. Going into the room with the pocketed Orisa. You got their Mercy, though. Where was their McCree, anyway? There's Junkrat. Where's McCree? Oh, he's up. Ooh. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so you went in there thinking that there was space, and there was no space. You went in there on accident. Got it. Where's the Lucio? Oh, assassinated by your friend. Okay. I just wanted to know where he was when he died. Yeah, quite frankly, you need to stick by the point. There was really no advantageous positioning here with this current place. So I can't even say take the high ground. Like, at most, I probably would have taken a pincer angle and forced them to look back so that your team has an easier time pushing forward. And you go back with your team. So, it's not... Yeah. I hate Junkrat. Yeah, this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because it doesn't matter... Wait, where's the second? Oh, right there. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if they didn't want to push the point. They have to stay on it. Otherwise, the game ends. So this is a situation kind of out of your control.
Your team is close.
Catching up. Unassailable.
Man, they're pushing it quickly.
Ready to
Okay, good, good. Get the Zen, yes! Ah! There it was. Another reason to hate Junkrat. Yeah, at the end there, I got nothing to correct. There was literally little to no choice for you to do what you did. So you were forced into that. All right. All in all, that was actually a very entertaining watch, and it wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed that very much. If the Junkrat didn't exist. If only he didn't. My life would be made up of so much less rage quits. Jokes being aside, though, for a second, that was a very entertaining match, very good. The only things I'm going to really recommend, because your aim actually doesn't look that bad either. Ironically enough, you and Leonardo are actually in silver as well. Both of you together are in silver. The only thing I'm going to say, you do need to check your positioning, take better angles, and don't frontline as much when it comes to delicate heroes like that. And all in all, know your competition, because again, you were like using the Tracer. When you were facing off against a Widow and a Hanzo and going up front, that was always a bad idea. That's always a bad idea. There is no way around that. So, if you're going to play Tracer into those duos that have burst potential to eliminate you, do yourself the favor and do not take the frontline fight. Take the most disadvantageous fight that you can against them, to where they are forced to use their resources to take care of you. If you lose, they are now without anything. But if you win, then you get them. So, the thing you need to look at your positioning... What was I just going to mention? It was between team fights. Between team fights. So pay a little bit more attention to the details, like you were pushing the robot. That was what would happen between team fights. Are you looking to make sure your team is with you? When you are pushing the point forward, just like you were before you reached that point past the middle, were you trying to get a good angle so that you can create some pressure and keep the team back? Or are you with your team and just waiting for the oncoming team fight? Now, you were doing some pretty good assassinations. Mess with the bindings like you are until you find something comfortable. I don't have any recommendations because I don't know exactly what it is you're looking for. So, to be quite frank, if you find some key bindings that work for you, just stick with them. I can't recommend anything on that. But you're panicking. How do you address panic? Well, first off, you play, but you relax yourself in your play before you do anything. Like, it's one thing to always kind of get caught off guard from time to time, but if you learn to just relax before you engage in team fights, you take the team fight a lot better. Yeah, take it calm, exactly. So, the only things I'm going to tell you to correct, the only things, your positioning and frontlining, try and change that up and try to be more flanky in your playstyles when you're playing Tracer, or any mobile hero for that matter of fact. You said you play a whole bunch of them except Torb. So, learn which hero, like, because it would be a lot to mention in right now, but there are heroes that take advantage through flanking playstyles, and some of them that are a little bit stronger, when they play with the team. Like instances, Mei would be one. Mei would be a good one to stick with the team, whereas you were playing Echo and Tracer might benefit better from flanking. And that's just to name an example. I'm not recommending anything because every team comp is going to be different. And then once you handle the positioning, pay attention to what you do between team fights, which, aforementioned the other two, I won't go over that again. And the last thing, dang. That's pretty much the only things I'll actually mention, because the panic one just comes with time. that as you learn the game and you start to play smarter, you'll start to realize, hey, if I remain calm. It just takes time. Your aim was actually not that bad. As for correcting your aim, I already have my aim guide. Leonardo could actually stand for this one, that he tried it out and it helped him out a tad. I would recommend looking onto my channel and looking for that video. It's console aim guide settings. And it basically goes into an in-depth breakdown, and if you think that there's something that you already know, just go through the chapters and skip what you don't need. But it gives my recommendation, and instead of me having to explain it here. But give it a go. Watch the video. It's like an hour long, but you don't have to watch the whole hour. Just whatever you think you need. There's chapters, like I said. Give that a go and see what would be good. And as for Mercy, I think I sent one of my previous videos. Dude. Shoot. I shared it in a previous stream and I don't have it here. I'll see if I can find it in a little bit. In fact, I'll share it in just a few seconds. But try the aim trainers. I'm sure, like, just do a warm-up for like 5 minutes. You don't need to do everything for like a length of time. But that's the places where you would actually test out your settings anyway. So I'll send those codes in a little bit. But other than that, I'm quite impressed. There's a lot of good things too that you did. You knew target prioritization is something that you build, but you did have times where you did do it. You had some good times of assassinations with Echo. You had some good picks when they were out of position and you bunkered with your team and you kind of took them out. So there's a lot of good stuff. It was a very entertaining watch. So other than that, I like to give things ratings. I don't think I should be rating my VODs, quite frankly. It was a very good VOD. I liked it, though. So, yeah.